Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday, March 9th, 2023, here in northern New Jersey, and it is a pleasant 38 degrees here, 2 weeks before spring. Don't forget to turn your clocks back on Saturday. Spring forward, fall back. Todd Father had a very good show this morning. Some serious topics. No kidding around. Very serious show. Talked about some of the benefits of different companies, some of the benefits in different countries. Good morning, Michael. How are you? Some of the things that go on here as far as immigrants and the benefits they receive. Me personally, I think immigrants are very, very hard workers. And I also said this morning that I think that a lot of them are better workers than the U.S. citizens. You know, they're very hard workers. But they do receive a lot of benefits from the government. And a few other topics. You know, it seems that the last couple of days that all of us content creators have touched on or talked about is hit the air fryer. So that seems to be the big thing. So if you can afford to go out and buy a air fryer, do so. I looked at mine last night when I went home, and I started reading the manual, which is like this thick. God, it can make so many things, and so fast, and so crispy, and easy to clean too. And they're not relatively expensive. You know, some of them are very priced reasonably. So that was a topic yesterday that everybody touched on. I myself touched on that and talked about food. So the last couple of days we talked about food and air fryers and some serious topics in all the shows. Really no kidding around, which is nice once in a while. However, which brings me to my title this morning is that everyone is entitled to their opinion. Good morning, Gianni. How are you? I was in a show where the content creator was getting aggravated over the material that he was showing. Now, I know the content creator has high blood pressure and is on blood pressure pills, so I made a comment to the effect of saying that I thought this was supposed to be a peaceful show. Don't get so aggravated. Not meaning anything by it. I was very respectful. I was just voicing my opinion because I saw that they were getting very aggravated. Their face was turning a little red, and it was because of the topic that they were showing. Now, the topic that they were showing didn't bother me at all. It had nothing to do with that. So, of course, a listener comes in and says, you know, this is his show. Well, I thought to myself, okay. So I replied by saying, you know, I'm not saying that it's, you know, or telling him what to do. I'm just simply saying not to get so aggravated. You know, I would never tell a content creator what to show, what not to show, or how to do this or how to do that. I was simply just looking out for the content creator because I saw the content creator was getting very, very aggravated. And by saying that this is supposed to be a peaceful show, meaning that not what the content creator was showing, but that the content creator was getting aggravated, and I was actually looking out for the content creator. So I meant nothing by it. You know, I was respectful, and I was just voicing my opinion. And then when I made the last statement by saying, you know, I'm not saying that that person shouldn't do what they were doing. I'm just merely stating that you don't have to get so aggravated. You know, and don't misconstrue what I'm saying. So the person responded by, knock it off, Ralph. Knock it off, Ralph. That's how the person responded to me. So then I said to myself, you know what, fuck this. I don't need this shit. I'm fucking out of here. Now, I'm not mad. I'm not annoyed. I'm just voicing my opinion. You know, like I said, I would never tell a content creator what to do, what not to do. I don't have that right, or what to show or not to show. I just saw that the content creator was getting very aggravated so early in the morning. and I didn't mean anything by it. Uh, but of course, there's always one person that's got to, you know, what could I say? I mean, I'm not mad. I'm not aggravated. But the way I think it should have been handled, as it's always handled, it was just like I was blown over. You know, you're reading the chat, you're seeing that, knock it off, and then I said goodbye. Okay, goodbye. Have a good day. What should have been done was, like they always do, is when they see something happening in the chat, stop it and say, hey, what's going on here? What's going on here? And address it, but it wasn't addressed. And probably the reason why it wasn't addressed is because the person who was making the comment against me or toward me is held in a higher esteem than I am. That's the only thing I can think of. I could be wrong, that's a speculation, but that's what I think. That's my opinion. So like I said, I didn't say anything out of the way. I was respectful. I just didn't want to see the content creator getting so worked up and getting so aggravated over the content material that they were showing. The material that they were showing didn't bother me at all. It didn't bother me. I just, so, sometimes people make comments that are unnecessary. That's the bad thing about texting, is that you can't see the person's expressions, or you can't hear the voice tone. So things have a way of getting misconstrued, That's what happens with texting. So, but everybody has the right to voice their opinion. If somebody came into my show and was voicing their opinion, I'm certainly not going to say to them, well, you shouldn't say that, or, I would let them voice their opinion and then discuss it further and see whether I agree or disagree. But like I always say, you could agree to disagree, but you can't not have somebody not voice their opinion. That's not right. That's not fair. So I made my exit, and I wasn't very nice about making my exit, and that's the way it is. I mean, because look, I don't allow anybody to talk to me that way. I just don't. I don't put up with any nonsense. If you guys don't know that by now, I don't allow people to talk to me that way. Not that the individuals were, I don't know if you could say the individual was disrespecting me or not, but it was uncalled for. I mean, it was uncalled for to say that, to knock it off, because I didn't say anything out of the way. I didn't say anything out of the way. I wasn't disrespectful. I would not go into someone's show and be disrespectful. That's not me, And how would that make me look? Right? How would that make me look as an individual, to go into somebody's show and be disrespectful? I just don't do that. So, that's the topic title that I have, is that everybody should be able to voice their opinion, whether you agree with them or not. And like I said, and I'll say this again for the third time, it had nothing to do with the content that was being shown. The content did not even bother me. The content was interesting. I just saw that the content creator was getting very worked up and very aggravated over the content, and knowing that the content creators got issues sometimes with the blood pressure, that's why I said that. And by saying that, this was supposed to be a peaceful show, not meaning that it's because of the content that they were showing, it's because the content creator was getting aggravated, So I was really looking out for the content creator. But no disrespect. I mean, like I said, I would not go into a show and disrespect any listeners or any content creators, because they have the right to show what they want to show. It's their show. You can't tell a content creator what to do. It's their show. But I would never do that. So I wanted to mention that. I just wanted to mention that I did feel kind of bad, but I got a little annoyed, and I made my exit by saying, "Fuck it, I'm out of here." Because I'm not going to get aggravated at 7 o'clock in the morning. So let me just see who's here. Hello, Steve. How are you? Good morning. Arms, how are you? Joey, how are you? Gianni, Stephen, how are you? Coltrane. Yes, Gianni, things get lost in transition and translation because you can't see. I'm really against texting. This has become a texting society. Everybody texts instead of making a phone call like we used to. Even my kids do it, and sometimes they take forever to answer. You can't see the voice. You can't see the person's facial expressions. You can't see you can't hear the voice tone. So things can get very easily misconstrued in a chat or texting. You know, so I'm not really fond of texting. But that's the society that we've gotten ourselves into, especially the younger generation. You know, I love it when you text somebody and they don't answer you till the next day. And then you forget why you text them and you try to say to yourself, well, not try to say to yourself, you say to yourself, what the hell are they talking about? But that was something that you had asked them or texted them the day before and you completely forgot about it, you know? So I'm one that, you know, when somebody texts me, I try to get back to them right away. Um, My kids sometimes annoy me because you know, I'll text them and they don't get back to me right away. You know, it takes forever for them to get back to me. Instead of calling them up, you know, calling dad up. I'm not either, Gianni. Sometimes you got to make the call. Well, like I said, we've gotten to a society where, you know, texting is the norm now. Not just with the younger generation, with us as well. With us as well. So as I said earlier in the beginning of this car life, Todd Father had a very good show this morning. Uh, Talked about a couple topics. Like I said, one about benefits in other countries as opposed to our benefits and unemployment and Social Security, comparing other companies to our company. And it was, actually I was on there for a little while. On Todd Father's show, but it was a serious show, not the one that, you know, we clown around in, which is nice to have. Like I said, which is nice to have once in a while. So, and right now this is a serious show. I'm not clowning around. I'm not really in the mood to clown around this morning. So, who knows what's going to happen with Dindo's show? But don't forget that Dindo has a show at 2:30. Anthony has a wine tasting show tonight. I'll be on the panel. In fact, I have to get the wine after work because I'm getting out of work early. He's doing red wine, which is good. I like red wine. So I'll be on his panel. So I'm looking forward to that because he has a good show. So we'll see what happens with that. But I just wanted to come on and talk about that. I mean, it's no big deal. Not a big deal. I'm just, you know, I'm just voicing my opinion. That's all. Just voicing my opinion. Sometimes things get a little out of hand, and you know, things get misunderstood. Gotta drink my coffee because my coffee always gets cold when I do a car live. You understand what I'm saying? You understand where I'm coming from? You understand you know, you understand what I'm saying? Either you agree with me or you don't agree with me. You know, everybody, like I said, has a right to their opinion. That's what makes people different. You may not always agree with their opinion. Like, for example, some people like Donald Trump, some people like Joe Biden. You may agree with that. You may not agree with that. You could agree to disagree. You know, I'm using that as an example, but. Hello, Nancy. How are you, hon? We're all going to get popped tonight. Yeah, I'm kind of actually looking forward to that. I like red wine, and I like the wine that he picked out. I don't know who picked it out, if he picked it out or if somebody else picked it out. But yeah, we're going to get crocked tonight. We're going to get crocked. We're all going to be home, relaxing real nice. And it's nice when you're home watching YouTube and you're relaxing and go on his show and do the wine tasting test. And have a couple glasses of wine and just relax, you know. It's good. It's a nice environment. Well, Gianni, I know a few people that likes him. I'm not even going to get into politics. I always say I don't get into politics. People have the different opinions, and politics and religion are two subjects that I don't generally talk about. But I haven't met too many people that like him either. Absolutely, Nancy. Absolutely. But I haven't, like I said, I haven't met too many people that care for him. And my personal opinion is, I don't think he's doing a very good job running the country. But that's my opinion. And again, for the seventh time, everybody is entitled to their opinion. That's what makes us all different individuals. And you're not always going to agree with everybody what they say. Can you imagine if we were all the same? That wouldn't be that would be boring. Joey, all you remember is blood pressure? I don't know what you mean by that, but no, I'm not in my Nancy. No, I'm not in my fancy Buick. I'm in my Chrysler 200. The Buick is wrapped up. I don't take it out until the weather gets really nice, like the spring or the summer. And then I only take it out on the weekends, sometimes, occasionally. I don't really like to drive it that much. Because all right, Adam, here, I'm going to answer your question. Why does someone you're never going to see in your life, in this case that may not be true, however, affect you? That should be their problem, not yours, and you should already know that, Ralph. Because I am the type of individual that does not put up with any bullshit. That's why. I have a low tolerance of patience. That's your answer. I don't put up with anybody talking to me that way. That's the way I grew up. That's the way I've always been, and I'm never going to change. I don't let people talk to me that way. It has nothing to do with affecting me. It's just the way I am, my character and personality. I'm nice to everybody. I don't disrespect anybody. And I expect the same respect in return. So if somebody says something against me, I'm going to be vocal. That's the way I am. I'm not like everybody. I'm not like the other content creators that you watch. I'm totally different in a lot of ways. Now, either you like me or you don't like me. It's simple as that. It's as simple as that. I don't go around telling people you should say this and you shouldn't say that, or to knock it off. And I don't put up with that fucking shit. All right? It's just not me. So, I hope I've answered your question. So I'm just looking down to see if I make sure I said hello to everybody. But that was a very good question, though, Adam, and I hope I answered it for you. Well, you know what? If I piss people off, that's too fucking bad, to be honest with you, Coltrane. I don't think I piss people off. I tell it like it is. I'm vocal. And like I said, either you like me or you don't like me. And I'm not going to change for anybody. And I don't disrespect anybody either. You know. I just don't allow people to talk to me that way. So I hope that answers your question, Adam. And but anyway, so I got to get the red wine tonight after work because I'm getting out of work early, and I'm really happy that Anthony's doing red wine. So I'll be on the panel. Yeah, I'll have my red robe. Maybe I'll have the Avanti Anisette cigar. I do smoke them once in a while, like once in a every 9 months or so. So anyway, so that's it. That's what I wanted to bring up. So the last couple of days, the shows have really been good. I mean, like I said, we've been talking about food. We've been talking about air fryers. We got different dishes that people make because of their authenticity. I can't pronounce that word. I have a hard time always pronouncing that word. Different ideas, things that I made, things that I do make. Talking about, again, benefits in our country as opposed to countries outside of the U.S. Really good topics lately. All serious topics. But of course, it's good to joke and kid around every once in a while. Red wine, you make me feel so fine all the time. Red wine, yeah. Coltrane. Oh, Evan, who's this? Evan is saying that Ralph, you have one of the most relaxing, fun, and wise show. I enjoy it, which I'm glad you didn't go off. Oh, thank you, Evan. That's very nice. Look, guys, I'm sorry if I come off as a hard ass, and I'm not. That's just the way I am. You have to understand where I grew up, okay? Guys from Newark that grew up in my time and have taken these things into their adulthood do not put up with any bullshit. Absolutely nothing. We're respectful because we were taught to be respectful. We were taught respect, and we remain respectful in our adulthood. We don't look for trouble, but if trouble comes our way, if somebody's going to do something against us to hurt us intentionally, then we step up to the plate. But I don't go walking around disrespecting people and being nasty to people because it doesn't cost anything to be nice. So you have to understand my personality and where I come from. You may say, oh, Ralph's a hard ass, Ralph's a hard guy. No, I'm not. I just don't put up with any bullshit. It's my upbringing. It's where I grew up. There are people that will sit back and not say nothing and let it go in one ear and out the other. I'm not that kind of individual. I never have been and never will be. But at the same token, I will be respectful and I'll try to be as tactful as possible. Sometimes it doesn't always happen. Sometimes it'll, you slip a little bit, but that's just the way I am, I mean, you see me on my shows. I very rarely curse. I don't disrespect any of my listeners. I don't go into other shows and disrespect any listeners or content creators. I would never do that. I would never tell another content creator what they could do or what they couldn't do. I don't have that right to do that. Nobody does. So you know the way I am and my personality a little bit, I would think by now. So I'm like this off of YouTube as well. So, I mean, that's just the way I am. I'm not apologizing. I'm just telling Evan, I'm not apologizing. I don't owe anyone an apology. I'm just saying, I'm just making statements about me and my personality and who I am and why I am the way I am, so you have a better understanding and what was what transpired really wasn't very nice, but it's just there's worse things than that. Believe me, that has happened. It's a minor thing, but I meant no one, anybody could see that I meant no disrespect. I was only thinking about the content creator, um, and their, I guess you could say their health, really, to see somebody get aggravated so early in the morning, but over the content that they were showing. Um, just didn't want to see them get aggravated. That's all. So it could have been misconstrued, and it probably was, as a matter of fact, probably was misconstrued. But that's the problem with texting and texting in the chat. Like I said, because you can't see the facial expressions and you can't hear the person's voice tone, which is very important. Very important. Yes, I left the show, and my exact words verbatim was, "I'm fucking out of here." Those were my exact words verbatim. Because I got annoyed. And it's too early in the morning for me to get annoyed. That's something stupid. When I meant no one any disrespect, you can have 10 people together, and there's always that one individual. One individual you could be at work, you could be in a store, wherever. There's always that one individual. Always. Always. It never fails. So it is what it is. What could I say? But I meant no one any disrespect. I wouldn't do that. Yeah, if you don't like the content, that's what I did. I moved out. I left. Too early in the morning to get aggravated with stupid shit. Stupid remarks, stupid comments. Unnecessary. And like I said, I'm not mad. I'm not upset. I'm not angry. I just thought that my personal opinion is because nothing was said was because the individual is held in a higher regard than I am. That's the only thing I can think of, and that's a speculation. That's not a fact. So I can't really back that up on any facts. And like I said, remember, I don't make any comments or statements unless I can back it up. So it's purely a speculation because I don't have any facts to back that up. That's just my opinion, my speculation, my opinion. And I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I'm not upset. I'm not really upset with anybody. I'm just, I guess you could say a little annoyed. Well, I'm annoyed that those things were said to me because I meant no harm. I wasn't being disrespectful. I was just looking out for the content creator because the content creator was getting aggravated over the content that they were showing. And it was so early in the morning. And I know the content creator has issues with blood pressure and takes blood pressure pills. And that's all I said. It had nothing to do with the content that they were showing. It's just that I was kind of more or less looking out for I guess you could say looking out for their well-being. If you want to put it that way. But no, it had nothing to, I just think that sometimes things are overlooked, It's not a big deal. Like I said, I'm just voicing my opinion. And, sometimes you do get a little annoyed. At least I do. It was kind of like uncalled for to knock it off. I mean, what to knock off? I wasn't doing anything. I didn't say anything out of the way. When I tried to explain myself that it had nothing to do with what the content creator was showing, it was replied with knock it off. Like I wasn't doing anything out of the way. Like, what are you talking about? Knock it off. So, it's water under the bridge. I just wanted to voice my opinion and talk about that everybody has an opinion, Now, if I went into somebody's show and was disrespectful, that's a different story. That's a totally different story. Then I would be totally wrong, which is something that I wouldn't do, because it wouldn't make me look very good either. So, we all need to be accepting of each other, and if a helping hand is being offered, we all need to accept it or decline it in respectful manner. Absolutely, Evan. Like yesterday, was it last night that I made a comment on my show about, how we shouldn't really talk about cancer and things like that. And then, of course, Tommy Sticks came on, and he brought out a very good point, something that I didn't see, where he was saying, but Ralph, some people need to talk about that, or vent and get it out and talk about it with strangers. So he made me see a side of that I wasn't even looking at. And then I said, you're right. Because the reason why I brought that up is because when you talk about cancer and this ailment and that ailment, it gets to be a little depressing, because I've seen a lot of that on Facebook all the time. Not meaning anything by it, but he came on and he brought up a very good point, which made me see a side of what I was saying that I didn't realize. So I realized it, and I said, you're right. You're right. So sometimes we don't see things the way other people see them, and then someone else needs to tell that individual, well, this is why individuals are doing this, or this is why this is done, and then the person can realize another side of it and see another side of it, like I did. So it was a very good point that he brought up. That with people that come into the chat, they can talk about anything, anything, as long as they're respectful. Our listeners are respectful. We have great listeners. Thank you, Gerard. It's not getting to me. It's not. You're misunderstanding what I'm saying. It's not getting to me. It's just, I'm voicing my opinion as to something that happened, which I thought was totally uncalled for, because I didn't do anything wrong. It wasn't disrespectful. I just was looking out for an individual. Because the individual was getting aggravated over the content that they were showing, because I don't know if you want to say passionate about it, or it was just a topic that was aggravating the content creator, and the content creator, was getting all worked up. And I made this statement saying this is supposed to be a peaceful show. Peaceful meaning not what the content creator was showing, peaceful in regards of the content creator getting aggravated. Had nothing to do with the content, that the content was good. The content did not bother me. I just didn't want to. That's like me going on let's say, Tinder show and say, Tinder, what are you getting so aggravated for? You know what I'm saying? I'm making a statement, a comment. Why are you getting why are you getting all worked up, Tinder? Don't get worked up. I'm merely looking out for the individual. That's all. Not being disrespectful. But of course, some people, I guess because of their personality, misconstrued what I was saying. And that happens, that happens. Hold on. This is no drama, Anthony. No, I'm just simply voicing an opinion. Do you see anybody yelling or screaming in my chat? There is no cursing. There's no yelling and screaming. There is no drama. I am voicing an opinion. Okay? That's an incorrect statement. So don't be coming in here causing any problems, Anthony, or else I will troll your show tonight. I have to get the wine tonight, Anthony, after work. Good wine that you picked out. I'm glad. Thank you for picking out the red wine. I know this is red wine week. I will be wearing my red robe on the panel with a few other things, I think. So I'm looking forward to a good show. Well, you know what, Nancy, that's a good suggestion, but it was the it was a spur of the moment thing, uh, a reaction to what was transpiring with the content creator. So it was like, what's the word that I want to use? Not spur of the moment. There's another word that you use for that. Impulse. Impulse. That's the word. It was an impulse reaction to what was going on with the content creator, and I reacted as with an impulse to that reaction of the content creator. That's what it was. But yeah, that's a good point too. But that's an impulse thing. And like I said, it wasn't disrespecting it. Like I said, I would not go into somebody's chat and disrespect somebody, especially a content creator. Like I said, what are people going to think of me if I do that? They're going to say, Ralph's a real asshole. He comes into the chat, he does this, he's talking about the content creator, he's being disrespectful, he's disrespectful to listeners. No, I don't do that. You're not going to think very highly of me if I do that. Gabish? Gabish. Gabish. ALV is going to cash app me the $10 for the wine because I am broke. We have to discuss in a contract that I was sent to him about the fee that he's going to be paying me for appearing on his panel this evening. That still needs to be brought out and discussed. Yeah, true, Evan. Very true. Very true. Like I said, the last couple of days, the last couple of weeks, we've had some really good shows, really good topics. Many of them serious, many of them kidding around, joking around. And again, I mentioned this, the one that was really good was when the listeners share their recipes and what they make with other individuals. Like when I had my live car yesterday, there were some people in the chat that were sharing some of the things that they make or have made in the past, which is interesting. And I shared some of the things that I make. So yeah, the last couple of days and the last couple of weeks have really been pretty good. I mean, we don't have any. Our shows we don't have any nonsense or drama or anything like that. Which makes it nice. Which makes it nice. They've all been enjoyable shows. Now, I missed Dindu's show yesterday, I think. Or did I come on? I don't remember. Jesus, I don't even remember now. I don't even remember if I was on a show or not yesterday. I'll have to go back and look and see. I don't remember. But I don't remember what he talked about. Tommy had mentioned that, or was it Todd Father that mentioned either Tommy or Todd Father mentioned that Dindu touched on the air fryer himself a little bit yesterday. When I went home last night, like I said, I looked at the air fryer. I looked at the bucket size. I found where the cookbook was. I looked at the cookbook. I was thumbing through it, and God, it makes so many great things. And then I'm saying to myself, Jesus, Ralph, you had this for 2 years. You only made French fries out of this, and look at all these things that you can make. Why? Because frying food was second nature to me. Joey Melrose, I want to read your comment. I left the chat last night because I wanted to respect the creator, and I didn't agree with something his guest was saying. Oh, the guest, okay. Writing to someone, talking on the doesn't work out for, I'm sorry guys, for the person in the chat usually. Okay. Well, um, you did the best thing like I did the best thing this morning. You left. You could always leave. You don't like the content, you don't like what's going on, you had the option to always leave. And you're not going to agree, Joey. You're not going to agree with everything that goes on in the show or agree with whatever a content creator is covering or a guest that is on or what some people are saying in the chat, because that's only natural when you have dealing with so many people and different personalities. And like I said, one does not have the right to tell another content creator what they can do and what they can't do. It's their show, and they do and run it how they please, and their format is their own. So by leaving a show, if you're not agreeing with what's being said or a guest that's on or people in the chat, you have the option of leaving, like I did this morning. And you're not always going to agree. It's a part of life. It's not just on YouTube. It's off of YouTube too. It's just a part of life. Oh, Gianni, that's so good. Did any of you make that dish that I made, that I talked about with the egg and the Taylor ham and the toast? You should really try that if you like those ingredients. Oh, Wine Guild, that's good. So Wine Guild, Anthony, I am going to assume, obviously, you use your air fryer. Well, I was such a jerk. I mean, I'm going to start using mine. After going home and thumbing through the cookbook and saying to myself, Jesus, look at all these things I could have made without oil, which I'm going to start doing now. And why? Because it was mentioned on shows. So I'll put the bug in me. So that's a positive thing. And like I always say, it's always good if you can walk away from your show learning a little something. It doesn't happen all the time, but it's a good thing when that happens. And I learned something yesterday, twice. Yeah, people swear by the air fryer, man. My friends all say, Ralph, you should have been using it. Okay, I'm going to start using it. So that's it. That's what I wanted to touch on. I got 15 people in the chat watching me. Who knows who's watching me outside the chat? Don't forget that like button. I never say this. Don't forget that like button. Well, I hardly ever say this. Don't forget that like button. Leave a comment. Analytics does pick up on the comments. This will go into a public show right after the show is over, because when I set the show up, it always starts as being private. And then I have to go back after the show is over, and then I have to release it. So it doesn't happen right away. Like maybe, 10 minutes after the show is over, it becomes public. I don't know why YouTube does that. I don't have an answer for that. I'm reading the chat here. Why me? Why do I have to have an air fryer show? I don't know how to cook many things in the air fryer. I have to look at the book. I have to look at the cookbook. And don't forget, everybody's air fryer is different. So I don't know that the air fryer that I had, which is a Philips, would apply to everybody else's air fryer. I really can't say. I don't know. I haven't used it. But there's a lot of things that you can make in it that are great, and it's not hard to clean either. And Todd Father had made a suggestion also, a very good suggestion, that in his air fryer, he puts aluminum foil on the bottom. And I guess it's for the drippings of whatever it is that's in there, which is a good idea, because that'll cut down on the cooking time, on the cleaning time, which I thought was a very good idea. and I just may do that myself. But I'm going to start using mine. Yeah, like a late night infomercial. Like, who's that guy? Yeah, I've seen some of those infomercials. Uh, what's his name? That famous cook, E. Merle? Is it E. Merle? That has the infomercial with his. I think it's an air fryer that he does. Right? I think it's an air fryer that he does. Yeah, olive oil is very good. Corn oil, uh, they make corn oil that's low cholesterol. Yeah, Boomer Pow. That's what he always says. E. Merle. It is E. Merle. So yeah, no, I have to make a video on how to make sauce or gravy. That's one thing I said that I'm going to do. There's a couple of people that want me to do a video on how to make thick, because I make my sauce and gravy thick. So I think Joey Melrose is one of them. Nancy's another one. So I am going to make a video on how to make gravy or sauce. But remember, and I always say this, that everybody's taste is different. So the way I make it, you may not like it. Uh, there is no right way or wrong way on how to do it. It's just a matter of preference on how you make it. So I am going to do a video on that soon, I hope. And maybe somebody also suggested, I think it was Lauren NB that suggested doing a video on the one with the Taylor ham, the toast, and the eggs, which is that's a very easy thing to do, and include the recipe, Listen, that's how I learned how to cook, believe it or not. I've gone on YouTube, and that's how I learned to cook, mainly from YouTube, but of course, through a couple of my friends as well, a couple of women friends. Helped me out. But a lot of it I learned on YouTube, and YouTube has a lot of instructional videos on how to cook different things. You just have to pick and choose the videos that you want to watch and use. I watched one not too long ago, a couple weeks ago, on how to make pot roast. It was a beef stew, either one of those, and this woman had over 1 million views on how to make pot roast, or was it beef stew, one or the other, juicy beef stew, juicy pot roast, and then, she had the picture in the thumbnail that was really nice. So I used that in a slow cooker, and it came out excellent. So there's a lot of instructional videos on YouTube on how to cook different things, which is great for somebody who didn't know how to cook. Now I know how to cook. What are you guys saying, Coppola? What are you guys talking about? You didn't bring anything back, Johnny? What is it that you didn't bring back? E. Merle. Yeah, E. Merle. He's a great cook. I was thinking about buying his thing. 4 easy payments of what, $49.95, something like that. Then I said, nah, I got an air fryer. What do I need that for? That's just one more appliance that I don't need, that I'm probably not going to use. Why waste the money? But he's a very good cook. So that's it, guys. That's all I really have to talk about. I wanted to mention that. Oh, really, Johnny? Over there? The oranges are better? Yes, I'm parked. I am. Who's asking me that? Christopher. Yes, I'm parked on the sidewalk. I'm half on the sidewalk, half in the uh, driveway of the Dunkin' Donuts. I park my car here every day when I go to Dunkin' Donuts. I could sit in my car all day and just talk to people. You know, people come up to the car, say hello to me, or blow the horn. And this is where I do my car lives, because I stop at Dunkin' Donuts to get a coffee before I do the car lives. So in answer to your question, yes, I am parked on the sidewalk, mostly on the sidewalk, and a little bit into the driveway. Nobody bothers me. The cops don't bother me. They all know me. They all know me in this town. They all know me in the town of Belleville. Sidewalk show. Maybe that's what I should call it. The sidewalk show. Mike John, I haven't had homemade pasta and I can't tell you how long. My God. Homemade pasta where it's actually made with the machine. My grandmother used to make raviolis. I remember when I was a kid. And she used to lay the raviolis out on the bed. And I had the job of cutting the raviolis with that little cutter that was, had those little, what do you call them, in them? I don't even know what you call them. But that was my job. And then she used to lay the raviolis out in the bed. Years ago, the old school Italians, everything that they could make homemade, they did. They made their own homemade sauce or gravy. They made pickled eggplant. They made fresh macaroni. So anything that they could make homemade, they made. I'm trying to think what else they made. They made pickled tomatoes. The sauce and gravy they would make, and then they would put in the mason jars and store it for the winter because it wouldn't go bad. They'd have enough to last the whole winter. But see, those customs have gone away through the years. My favorite was always the pickled eggplant they used to make, which you can buy in the store today. Pickled eggplant is very good. But those customs through the years have gone away. I'm talking about the old school Italians that came from the other side. Like Tommy Stiggs' girlfriend's father. He's really an old school Italian from the other side that makes all homemade stuff. His vegetable garden is unbelievable. So somebody like that, we don't have people like that around that much anymore. So a lot of those customs have gone by the wayside through the years. And you miss it. I don't know anybody that makes homemade fresh macaroni. I'm sure there are people, but I don't know any. I would rather go out. Hey, good morning, Tinto. How are you, buddy? Good to see you. I would rather go out and buy the raviolis that I buy or the manigot that I buy is very, very fresh and homemade. So I would rather go out to the store and buy it than, of course, make it. I wouldn't even know how to make it anyway. I wouldn't know how to make it. I wouldn't even attempt to make it. It's much easier for me to go out to the store and buy a fresh box of ravioli or a fresh box of manigot that's homemade. We're talking about food, Tindu. We talked about air fryers a little bit, food, what's been going on the last couple of weeks on our shows. We covered a lot of topics here. But yeah, I mean, we make our own lasagna at the restaurant. The lasagna is homemade. They have the machine to make that and everything. So our lasagna is homemade. But like I said, it's easier to go out and buy a box if you got the right store that's selling fresh, macaroni. And then you got the raviolis that got the spinach in it. You got the raviolis that got the prosciutto in it. That got the sausage in it. You know, there's all different types of raviolis too. You know, and they're all good. They're all good. I love raviolis, especially if they're loaded with cheese. Now we had a company years ago in New Jersey in Newark called Celentano that made raviolis and made manigot, and I didn't care for them because their raviolis were more doughy. It was more dough than cheese. But back in the day, that's all my mother bought was Celentano raviolis. They're no longer around anymore. But their raviolis and manigot was like 80% dough and like 20% cheese. But that's all my mother bought back then. I don't know if there were any companies, other companies back then selling raviolis because I was a kid. I made corned beef a little earlier. I made it 2 weeks ago. I put it in the crock pot. I seasoned the meat first before I put it in the crock pot with garlic, garlic and Parmesan cheese sprinkle with pepper and potatoes and onions and carrots and celery. And after the meat was tenderized, I let it sit for about maybe 6 hours. Then I put it in the crock pot. Oh, and the cabbage. And I let it cook for 4 hours on high in the crock pot. And I got to tell you something, it was excellent. The meat just like, it fell apart. Well, that's another thing I recommend. If you don't have a crock pot, you don't know what you're missing. Now, I never had a crock pot ever when I was married. I did buy a crock pot when I was on my own. And it's the best thing that I've ever bought on top of an air fryer. Crock pot, all you have to do is put the ingredients in there. You put it on the amount of hours that you want it to cook, whether it's on low or high or medium, and you let it just sit there and let it do its business. And when it's done, I can tell you, the cabbage was, the corned beef was tender as anything. The beef stew that I put in there was tender. The pot roast was tender. So if you don't have a pot roast, if you don't have a crock pot, I do recommend you going out and buying one. If you can afford it. It's one of the greatest things you can have. I know that Tindu uses it because he's put shorts up about it. But it's a great cooking appliance to have on top of an air fryer. You know, when you cook, you want to make things easier for yourself. You know, I've learned that the hard way. When I first started cooking, my kitchen was a mess. A mess. I had pots and pans all over the place. You know, I'm just looking at them saying, oh my God, look at all these pots and pans that I have to do. But, you know, you learn to cook, you learn to clean as you go along. And you want to make cooking as easy as possible. You know, so I do recommend you going out and buying a crock pot if you don't have one and look into it because it makes a lot of great things very easily. One of the greatest inventions. Right, Tindu? You'll agree with me because I know that you make a lot of things in the crock pot too. So I'm just making my short rib ragu today. Oh, that sounds good, Gianni. That's it. Yeah, right, Mike John? Is it good with the cheese? Okay, Tindu, let me just rephrase something. If you're talking about, if you're talking about the corned beef, I didn't use Italian grated cheese, if that's what you're talking about. I used like garlic salt, but it was garlic and Parmesan cheese seasoning in the jar. That I got at the supermarket. It wasn't Italian grated cheese that you're thinking of. If that's what you're talking about. Italian grated cheese does not go well with corned beef. Because the seasoning that I use is I used thyme, rosemary, the actual twigs that got put on top of the corned beef. Um, the seasoning that comes with the corned beef I used, but I also spiced it up with pepper and Italian seasoning that you get in a jar, and garlic and Parmesan spices that comes in a jar. But not Italian grated cheese, if that's what you're talking about. No, that's not going to go well with corned beef. So we're talking about. Oh, did you ever have this dish? I forgot to mention this yesterday because somebody just mentioned spinach. Here's another old school dish. Very economical to make, very easy to make. Spinach and potatoes. Has anybody ever had spinach and potatoes? You cook the spinach, you boil the potatoes, okay, like you're making mashed potatoes, only you don't mash them. After they're boiled for a certain amount of time, you mix the potatoes in with the spinach, and you serve it like that, with a piece of Italian bread and butter. Very easy to make, very economical, and filling. That's another old school dish that my mom used to make. I don't make mashed potatoes fresh. I do, if I'm gonna make spinach and potatoes, which I haven't made, I would boil the potatoes as if I was gonna mash them. And then when you put them in, when you mix it with the spinach, you could always smash the potatoes if you want, because they're soft, and mix it with the spinach in the dish. You know, that's what I used to do when my mom used to make it. Another good economical dish. Of course, with salt and pepper, and I use a lot of garlic powder or garlic salt with my food. Not a lot, but I use it often with my food. You know. So that's another economical dish. Ditalini and peas is another good dish. You know. Peas and pasta. You know, there's so many economical dishes. You know. So see, we're trading and sharing different ideas. You know, about food. We can't seem to get off the subject of food the last couple of days. But food is not a bad topic to talk about, is it? But it's good that you're getting different ideas from different people. You know, it's like I said, you're walking away learning a little something, and that doesn't happen always all the time on a show. But I guess food is a very good topic to talk about, because a lot of people can share different ideas and the dishes that they make. You know, and we all make different dishes, and we all make it a different way. Let me just see something. Speaking of potatoes, how about twice baked potatoes? Haven't had those in years. Yeah, Jeremy, that's very good. You know, our supermarket here has potatoes that are baked potatoes, and you could put them in the oven or the microwave, and it's a baked potato. You cook it for so many minutes, it gives you the instructions, and it comes out as a baked potato. And then you open up the potato. And they do the same thing with the yams too. You can open it up and you can put butter and salt and pepper, whatever. Or you could bake your own potato. But they sell the potatoes that are baked, and you can do that. Put them in the microwave, and you know, rather than put them in the oven. I personally have never made baked potatoes in the oven. I've always bought the ones that I'm talking about at the supermarket, and they're great. The yams are really good. You know. I don't remember what you have to cook them at. That gives you instructions, like maybe 5 minutes, maybe, whatever the instructions are. But they're microwavable, and they're great. They're great. I'm not, that's funny, Johnny, you said that 500 pounds, you know. I always seem to maintain my weight. I'm not a junk eater. I don't eat a lot of ice cream. I don't eat a lot of cake. I do eat cake occasionally. I do eat ice cream. I'm not one to sit on the couch at night and binge on potato chips or ice cream or cake. I have a whole cocktail table full of candy. Every kind of candy you could think of I have. Milky Ways, Baby Roots, Butterfingers, Hershey's Kisses, Jolly Ranchers, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. I have a lot. There's many for the kids, you know. But I have a whole cocktail table full of candy. And I hardly touch it. You know, every once in a while I'll touch it. So I'm not one of those kind of people that are these binge eaters at night, you know. Or couch potatoes, you know, watching TV and just binging on food. But I also exercise a lot too. I do a lot of sit-ups in the morning. I exercise, which keeps me like a rubber band. I'm like a rubber band. I'm so flexible. Now, what's to say tomorrow I can wake up and not be able to do anything? Somebody lost 30 pounds? I don't have a fast metabolism, I don't think. 30 pounds is great. God bless you, buddy. I guess it's so easy to put on weight, right? Some people say, oh, I could look at food and I just put on weight. That's never been the case with me. Like I said before, I had the same waist I have in high school. How many people can say that? My friends all get pissed off at me. Because I have no stomach. My stomach is flat as a board. You know? I have a bunch of haters. What can I tell you? They hate me. Ralph, don't you ever put on weight? You have no stomach. It's the same way you looked in high school. You know, I'm blessed in some ways, and some ways I'm not. So, you know. But I do exercise, and I'm like a rubber band, you know. I don't feel my age. I don't act my age. So, but like I said, who's to say that I could wake up tomorrow and not be able to do anything? You know. So I thank God every day. All right, guys. That's it for this show this morning. We talked about a lot of things. I had really only one topic to talk about, but we talked about many things, which is good. I hope you enjoyed the car life. Yes, Mike John, congratulations. Absolutely. 30 pounds is a lot to lose. You probably had no problem putting it on, right? I don't know if it's harder. I think it's harder to lose weight than it is to gain weight. You know, I think it's harder. But 30 pounds is a lot, you know, and you probably didn't have any problem putting the damn food on, the damn weight on, you know. And in order to lose weight, you got to be disciplined. I guess you have to watch what you eat, watch the calories, exercise, you know, sacrifice. I've never ever, you guys are going to hate me. I've never ever have been on a diet. I don't know what it's like to lose weight. Oh, yes, I do. I'm sorry. I lost a lot of weight when I was sick back in 2013 when I had ulcerative colitis. I lost a lot of weight. I lost 30 pounds. So, but other than that, I don't know what it's like to be on a diet, to lose weight. And I think, again, it's harder to lose weight than it is to gain weight. Because food is so delicious, right? Food is so delicious that you know, you're eating. But as you get older, you have to watch the things you eat, you know. So anyway, all right, guys, I got to go. Thank you for joining me. Hit the like button, subscribe. Most of you probably have subscribed. Hit the like button. Make a comment. Don't forget that Thindo has a show at 2:30 this afternoon. I don't know what he's going to talk about. I have no clue, but I know that Anthony the Wine Girl will have a show tonight at 7 p.m. in his wine tasting, which is going to be red wine. He'll probably show a little introductory video about the wine before we actually start tasting it, which is nice. He does a nice short video. He has a nice calm show. We'll be home relaxing, maybe many of us, while we're drinking wine and on the show. I'll be on the panel with probably Tommy and who knows who else. So guys, you all have a great day. And possibly I'll see you on, if I get a chance, I'll be on, I'll be in Tindu's chat this afternoon if I can. And I'll be on Anthony's show tonight. So guys, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. You all have a great day. Who's having 2 shows? Wait a minute, who's having 2 shows? Nobody's having 2 shows. Don't misunderstand me. Tommy, I don't know. Maybe Tommy did his show this morning. Maybe he's doing a wind down tonight. I don't think so. I think he was going to be on the panel with us, with Anthony, on Anthony's show. That's what I was talking about. The only one I know that's doing a show tonight at 7 p.m. is Anthony. I'm going to be on the panel. I thought that Tommy was going to be on the panel. So that's what I was talking about. Yes, I'm a celebrity now. I've reached celebrity status. I've got 62 trolls. My head is up in the air. My nose is up in the air. Now I'm like, my shit doesn't stink. No, I'm only kidding. That would never happen. That never happened. Never. I only kid around. Hold on a second. I just want to see. This is important. Oh, really, Tommy? Okay, I didn't know that. All right, so Tommy just said that Anthony tonight is going to have a serious show. Then he's going to have another show of shenanigans. Oh my God. We'll be wasted and going down the show doing shenanigans. But that's a good idea. Okay, so Tommy just clarified that. All right, guys, I got to go. I got to start my day. Hold on. Good idea. Trying to keep it separate. Excellent idea. Very good idea. See how we get ideas from one another? Where the hell is... It's all good. Communication, and it's all good. That's a very good idea. All right, guys. I'll see you tonight on Anthony's show. Everybody have a great day. And if you can, get the wine. It's not expensive. It's $10 a bottle. If you like red wine. It's worth checking out. So I'll see you guys possibly on Tindu's show at 2:30 if I get a chance, when I get some downtime. Or I'll definitely see you on Anthony's show tonight. So guys, you all have a great day. Thank you for joining me. And I'll see you later.